Hey guys, so gonna give a couple minutes for everybody to get on. Good morning from Alabama, and so I have a special friend here from the trail, and for those of you who followed my through hike or have since watched it, I'm just kind of curious if y'all can maybe guess who is here, and let me find y'all's comments first. Bear with me. Let's see. Trying to find it. Wow, this is like repeat of the other day. Maybe it takes a second to load up. I'll go with that. Maybe here. Stay quiet, secret person. Let's see. Oh, did it stop? I don't know why. Oh. Uh-oh. All right, guys, if you can go there and you can, there we go. This is it. Awesome. Okay. Let's see. All right. It's pulling up. There we go. Finally. I see y'all. Okay, sorry about that. Technical difficulties. It's too early in the morning. I haven't finished my first cup of coffee, so let me mute this. Okay, all right. So now I see y'all's comments. So, all right, we got Chattanooga, Chicago, Slovakia. We got somebody saying Roll Tide. How dare you cuss us? Okay, so I see a guess. Riga. And any other guesses? Delaware guesses Riga. Riga. That is a good guess. It's not Riga. So so see it, let's yeah, blonde moments. Thanks, Gary. Okay. Yeah, anybody any other guesses? All right, we got Mountain Goat. No. It is a boy. No, not Chance. Nope. But the person thinks that it's funny. Nope, not Rebel Yell. Y'all are narrowing it down. That's my bestie. Oh, okay. The question is, does anybody can anyone guess the family member from the trail that is here with me right now? Perk. Yay! Yes, it is Perk. Let's see. Yeah, I guess we should have made a prize. Grant guessed Perk. Awesome. We got body glide. Yep. Awesome. So yeah. So Perk is like, we'll tell them. What are you doing right now? Like, what's going on in your world?
Well, I'm getting ready to hike the PCT.
Perk is getting ready to hike the PCT. So weird. Me too. Yeah. So but he was coming from Florida and was like, I'm gonna be in Opelika to come hang out. And I was like, well, what perfect timing, because then you can help me do this Q&A. So you got two people here, two different perspectives, and both AT through hikers and soon to be PCT through hikers. So
I hope so.
Triple Crown.
you know it.
Yeah, I know. Like once you're 66% of the way there, you just have to do it. So, all right. So let me see. Okay, so let's go ahead and start the questions. And I don't really know a good way to do this other than when I see a question scroll in the thing, I'll go ahead and start. We'll kind of talk about it. So, will y'all be hiking together on the PCT? Okay, so hopefully, we're gonna see how it all works out and everything. But that's the game plan. So we'll see. And then also, Chance is gonna be out there, and who else were we talking about last night? There are several people who'll be out there. All right. So best water filter. Well, I don't know exactly what's the best, but I can tell you what I used. I think Perk used something different. So
Yeah.
I started out with the Sawyer squeeze, which was fine. The bags will bust, but you can replace those. Don't over tighten if you get the Sawyer squeeze, it will tell you that. But so anyway, I got tired of just squeezing. I'm lazy, I guess, and I finally just ditched it, and I got the Platypus Gravity. That one is heavier, but it's good for big, like larger amounts of water, and you just hang it up, and it does it for you. Apparently, you can do that with the Sawyer too. Never tried it, but Perk can tell you what he used.
I used the light straw for $20. It lasted the entire trail. The only disadvantage was that you couldn't squeeze and filter your water beforehand. And so if you wanted to cook, you had to bring your water to a full boil. Whereas perhaps if you had a squeeze bag, you could, you could just warm your water and save a little bit of canister fuel or whatever fuel you're using. But I was very satisfied with it all the same. There was a good draw through it. It only clogged once. And like I said, I made the whole trail until I lost it in 100 miles.
No, you didn't.
I did. So close to the end. So I guess I lied when I said I made the whole trail, but 99% of it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, like my trekking poles.
Right.
Yeah, that are on Katahdin. God be with them. God be with them. Okay. All right. So let's see. We have a ton of questions. All right. Very different trails. Somebody said about the PCT, and then how did you deal with plantar fasciitis or however you want to say? So I have a video on here about that on my channel. So I'm not going to go into too much detail on that one just because I've got more detail on it. But basically, I rested for a little while. I rolled my foot on a frozen water bottle when I could. I stretched a lot. Naproxen, which is what a leave. Is that what? I think so. It's just I just kind of tried to ease up on it, and I switched to Dr. Scholl's inserts that are made for that condition. So that's pretty much how I dealt with that. And did you have any trouble with your feet?
I don't think so, no.
Yeah, that's impressive. I didn't
have
any. I wasn't plagued with blisters, but I had that. But I thought you. And you wore like New Balances for a while, like a regular New Balance.
I started with some heavy Danner boots that fell apart by Montana Danner.
Oh.
And then I went to running shoes, like not even my trail runners, just straight up tennis shoes and running shoes for the rest of the trip.
Yeah.
I went through 3 pairs, but none of them were new when I started, so it's hard to say how long you can expect them to last.
Yeah.
They were all in various states of use.
Yeah. But they worked.
They worked.
And then your feet didn't
no
fall off.
Significant blisters, no other feet issues, no.
That's awesome. Yeah. All right. Let's see.
I think the secret to that, if I may add, a lot of blisters were for people starting the trail, trying to do too much early on.
I agree.
20 miles on the first day, and then a week later, their feet are shredded.
Exactly.
And they're laid up in a hospital for a week spending money.
When they could have just started slow.
Yeah, start with 8 miles a day for the first week.
That's what I did.
Yeah. You have far fewer feet problems.
Yeah, and you don't have to. I mean, sure, if you're in the best physical shape you can be before you go out there, that'll help. But you're not going to be a pro at it, like out the gate, regardless. So, so somebody said, "Don't y'all lose each other?" Well, they said, "Don't you, not y'all, but don't you lose each other on the trail if one takes a 0 day." So yeah, I know it sounds crazy, but it's like, you'll see him again. Yeah. I don't know. You don't really worry about it. And the thing about the AT is you've got these shelter logbooks, so you know exactly how far ahead of you people are. So look at that picture.
I have the glasses on.
Oh, okay, I'll tell you. But okay, so anyway, let's see. You never really talk about what you ate, the kinds of food, and how far you had to go in between. So this is something that hikers really love to talk about, and I just haven't known how to make a good video about this. I have a couple on the trail where I talk about some of the food I have or whatever, and I've got a couple of recipes on here, but you're right, I haven't made like a whole video of like, this was my menu, but it is in my ebook, so I have a sample menu. But we'll go ahead and talk about that. What was your favorite thing to eat, or what was a day like for you of eating?
A lot of ramen.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I never got sick of it.
I didn't either. That's one thing that I was never
tired of. Before the trail too.
I do too.
Like,
yeah. He was trying to go there when we were at Walmart last night to go look at I say ramen.
Pull me away from the hiker supply aisle.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, a lot of ramen noodles, pasta sides, rice sides, that Knorr brand. Did you ever splurge on the backpacker meals?
No. I'm too cheap for
that. Every now and then I would treat myself. It was like
I treat myself too.
Like once a month or twice a month or something like that. But and then
should we tell them about hiker pod time? Is that something you?
I didn't do it, but yeah, tell them.
Yeah, you take your the Conte ramen if you can find them, or any of the spicier varieties, and a packet of tuna fish and a little self-serving of peanut butter. Throw it all together, and I never thought tuna fish and peanut butter would be good. And I don't know if it was because I was so ravenously hungry that it was good, or if it was truly good. It's hard to say.
But either way, it was good.
I guess the test would be like, I haven't made it for myself at home since getting done with the trail, so it probably wasn't that
good. Yeah.
But it was great at the time.
Yeah, and you do come up with weird conglomerations. Mine never got that weird, but some people really do just dump everything together and eat it. But so, like, for me, did you cook breakfast?
Usually it was like instant grits or instant oatmeal.
And that's what I did too.
I actually would mix them all together. If I had grits, oatmeal, and what's the other thing you eat? Cream of wheat.
Cream of wheat.
And I would make a super breakfast of one packet of each.
Yes.
And I found it kept me fuller longer. And I have a hypothesis on this. I'm not a professional dietitian. I don't know.
Yeah.
But if I ate like 3 packets of oatmeal, all the same grain, I would be hungry again in like 45 minutes, maybe an hour tops. But if I mixed the 3, same volume of food.
Oh, I was gonna say, well, it was 3. So
the grits and the oatmeal, etc. That would last like 2.5 or 3 hours.
So they broke down at different rates.
That's my guess. That's my hypothesis. The different starches broke down different rates, and it kept me fuller longer. So that's my advice. Make a super breakfast. And it doesn't matter if you mix sweet and savory. Sometimes you get the flavored oatmeals or the flavored grits. You can mix a bacon and cheese with a fruit one, and it'll be great.
Well, if you think about it, like maple syrup on bacon is
exactly.
Good. So.
What's more divine than that?
Nothing. And then Perk actually cooked breakfast. He made pancakes one morning out there because Perk got real creative. He toted like lard and like and flour. No, but it was fun. You got to mix it up. He toted milk for several days so he could make these pancakes for all of us. And we were finally at one spot. And he made these awesome pancakes and like rehydrated strawberries and put on top. Like you get very creative.
Yeah. Little compo. Is that the word for fruit?
I don't know, but that sounds good. Yeah. But yeah, it was. I mean, and then so anyway, some people cook breakfast. Some people eat like a Cliff Bar or something and go and just snack. And then lunch, a lot of people don't cook. I went through spells where I did and then where I didn't. But if I did cook at lunch, it was usually something that cooked faster, like ramen noodles, not the pasta or the rice sides. Those just take longer. And then snacks in between. I mean, any snack that you can sit on a shelf and it will not go bad for a couple weeks. Or for longer than that even. But you can also tote like fresh spinach and cheese while it's cool out. It won't go bad.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, eventually, but like it'll last you a few days.
You can let it believe.
Exactly. In your civilian life, in the synthetic world.
Eggs too.
Oh.
Fresh eggs.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, folks that when they come right out the chicken's butt, normally they let them sit there for a while.
I mean, if eggs really spoiled out of the refrigerator in a matter of days, how could any chicken ever be born? One hen sitting on them, and it doesn't have an immune system when it's a little blood spot, but it doesn't rot. So.
That is so funny. Okay. I hope that helps with some food, guys. Some of my favorite snacks were Snickers. I could eat a whole bag of powdered donuts in like one sitting. It's disgusting the amount of food that you can put down. But what did you have, like a morale food? Like, oh, dried mango was really good.
Oh, yeah, any dried fruit was a huge boost morale. It's a little bit heavy. Even though it's dried, it's still dense. But it's definitely worth it. Definitely good morale.
All right. Will you take an umbrella on the PCT? So I wasn't going to, but then I talked to another hiker friend a couple days ago who said he did and swore by it. So now I'm actually considering it. So what about you? Are you planning to take an umbrella?
I wasn't planning on it, but it seems like almost everybody does.
Yeah.
And watching some post-PCT gear summary videos for guys who already did the trail, a lot of them, had an umbrella, sitting on their bed in their array of pack gear. I don't know. I was thinking I might get away with just a wide brimmed hat, like a boonie cap or something.
Yeah.
It worked on the AT, and it kept bugs out of my face. They all swarmed around the brim instead of my face. So I'm hoping that'll be enough.
Yeah. I heard like in the sun and in the rain and all that. Oh man, we've got. We got Bobby Hill from the AT. Yeah, he's like, hey! Yeah, okay. So he says, yo, Dixie, what's your start date on the PCT? I'm not exactly sure yet, so stay tuned for that. But that's so awesome that you're here. Also, now we have 3 people from the trail here. So we have another AT-er in the, let's see, the mic. Perk, it's hard to hear your voice.
Oh, yeah.
Perk's mic is still very muffled. Okay, let's see. Is it hidden under the beard? Okay, I'm trying to fix this, guys. All right, I don't know if that helps. See, Perk talk and see if that helps.
You can blame it on me if you want. I don't enunciate very well.
No, it's the, I think it must be the mic or maybe the way I have it set up. Okay, we can still see us. So is that volume better on Perk?
What should I say?
Still muffled?
Still muffled. Oh no.
Hold on. Does not help. Well, darn. I wonder if you swap, but y'all can hear me okay? Let's see. It's been easier to hear him when he has had longer. No, you're clear as a bell. Okay, let's try swapping spots and see if that helps.
Fire drill.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, y'all have to see what Perk's wearing. I don't know how well you can see it. Yeah, look. He's wearing his hiker skirt. Yeah, he got that in Damascus for trail days. So if y'all you want to go to trail days. I mean, I wasn't sold on the idea, but I'm really glad that I went. After I started and people were talking about it, I was like, all right, I got to go to trail days. So anyway, there you will find. Did you get that at the thrift store?
The thrift store, yes.
So there is a thrift store in town that I swear they keep running because of trail days. But like we all picked out outfits and stuff, and so that's Perk's skirt. So he was like, I got to get ready and like put my skirt on for this. So so
I was trying to get in the mindset.
Yeah, get in the hiker zone. So okay, y'all can hear him better now.
Thank you, Icarus.
And you can still hear me too. Yay! Okay, great. Okay, so let's continue this. I definitely skipped down, so y'all feel free to re-ask those questions. That way, I wanted to scroll down and make sure you could hear us, and I'm glad I did because I saw that you didn't. So, all right. So next question. Let's see. Any new way you'll be doing the videos on the PCT? Nope. Pretty much the same, just with my phone, different phone. Pretty much the same. So, all right. Let's see. How much planning did you guys put into what towns you were stopping in? Was a lot of it in advance or mostly on the fly? Mine was not in advance. I sat down and I looked at the guidebook and all the stops and I said, I'll figure it out as I go along, because the AT is so traveled that you would be stupid to, after all these years, not have capitalized on the opportunity to make money. I feel like, I don't know about you.
Business owner? Sure,
exactly.
yeah.
So yeah, you're gonna you're gonna have opportunities. It's nothing to stress over. What about you? Did you do any mail drops or anything like that?
I had 0 planned mail drops. I mean, occasionally I called home and said, "Hey, can you please? I'm running low on this." But no, because so many people, if you do a mail drop, then you have to get to that town in a certain amount of time, and during post office hours, and sometimes they, in these small towns, they have very wonky hours, and it just ended up being a stress for a lot of people. Yes. So
yeah, I remember when Mountain Goat had to get somewhere to get a package. That's when we went to that hostel and we were waiting on him, and then I got food poisoning.
Oh yeah.
We went to Black Bear. He had to go the other way because remember there were 2 hostels. So, but yeah,
and then the fellow at the hostel wasn't there, and so he was waiting. It was a mess.
It can be just a headache sometimes. But I mean, there are a few towns that if you want to have something planned to send to you, that I would recommend those be it, just because they have like not the biggest selection, or it's like really expensive. And actually in my bounce box video, I mentioned those, so there you go. Okay, issues with theft. I never had anything stolen. Did you? I've had a lot of people ask about that, about like doing a video of what I did with my pack, you know, while on trail. And this is why I'm doing these, because it's so much easier to answer like this than to do a whole video on that, because I would just be like, nothing. I didn't do anything special with it. So what I did when I went into a grocery store was either put it in the buggy, or if they have a sign that says don't do that, then there will be an area that you put your pack. Like, or at some restaurants you might want to ask so that the waitresses aren't tripping over your packs. But like, I never had any issue with it. People are all watching out for each other. I didn't have any issues with hikers stealing from hikers. Your stuff stinks. Nobody wants to touch your stuff.
And no hiker wants to carry extra stuff.
And no hiker wants to carry extra. Exactly. Like, even if I saw an iPad laying there, I'd be like, I don't want to tote that.
Yeah. You know? I didn't want to tote it. I didn't want to tote my own iPad.
I know, you toted it.
Yeah, I sure did.
Perk toted an iPad. So yeah,
no, I got a smartphone this time though.
Yeah, yes, you did. But, so did you do anything special at all?
No, but Chance did have his pack stolen.
What?
The whole pack. But he found it. He recovered it. Yeah, it was like he left it at a trail crossing, and I guess some kids took it, and he found it like a little bit down the trail in a bush, and they took like 2 warm beers out of his pack or something, and everything else was intact. So even the civilian kids didn't, you know, they just wanted the beer.
They just wanted the beer.
That sweet beer.
So if you're gonna leave it at the trailhead, don't put it in plain sight. Like maybe tuck it into a bush or something. Okay, let's see. Okay. I'm planning to do a month on the AT this summer. If you had only a month, which section would you do? Wow,
that is the hardest question always to answer. What was your favorite section, or things like that?
So I don't know, the Grayson Highlands area is beautiful, and like McAfee Knob, and I think in a month you could hit a decent amount of that. But we were talking last night, one of the most beautiful states that you don't like kill yourself on is Vermont.
Yeah.
So Vermont's wonderful. And I did the 2 section highlights. I did like 2 videos, one on Vermont, a section of Vermont, but it's like a week trip-ish, or weekend to week, and then one in Virginia. So I don't know. Those are probably one of the 2 states that
I would not do New York.
Yeah,
so, and I'm from New York, and I'm embarrassed about the section of trail in my home state. It's not great.
Yeah. Let's see. What? Let's see. Do you stay in huts in the whites or camp below tree line?
Ooh. I might have to consult a lawyer first before I answer this question.
Yeah, so you can try to do a work for stay. I will tell you that I hate bashing stuff, but I'm just going to be straight up. So it's going to be very awkward when you go. For me, it was very awkward. We weren't together through the whites, but I felt like such a beggar or something. I don't know. And I was made like I was made to feel that way. It was like, ugh, another one of you beggars wanting to stay here. But the huts are very expensive to stay at, so it kind of puts a cramping on your budget. And the huts were designed from the beginning to help people like get out of the conditions and everything. Like the first one, like Lake of the Clouds, I was reading about that and stuff. And now it's become like people, you know, the Appalachian Mountain Club, people call it the Appalachian Money Club. Oh, they're just trying to get your money and all. And I mean, they have to pay their workers, you know, and they have people like at the shelters that like groundskeepers or whatever you want to call it. I don't remember what they're called, but so but there are some of the huts are wonderful and have wonderful people at them. And some of my trail friends that finished early, the Packing It Out crew, went back at the huts and started working at them. So they'll let you like do some kind of chore, washing dishes, sweeping, something. And then whatever leftover food they have from feeding their guests, like you can eat that. And then in exchange, you sleep on the floor in the dining area at the hut. Now, if a hut won't let you stay and they're like, no, you can't, we already have too many people doing the work for stay, then you have to find a place to camp.
Yeah.
And there was one night that, you know, we were told no, and I won't say what hut, but it was dark. Like it was about to be dark. And, well, it pretty much, no, I think it was when we rolled up at that one. But anyhow, and I mean, the next several miles were all rock, I found out the next day. So I'm really glad that I didn't keep going. And it was windy. And I mean, it gets dangerous in the whites. Like I'm all for night hiking, but the whites, I definitely do not recommend night hiking in. And so anyway, I was camped out near some trees. It was not by definition below tree line because the trees probably weren't tall enough for that definition. So you just honestly, you do what you have to do.
Down though, they're taller.
Exactly. Yeah. So what about you? Pretty much the same, or did you?
I was never turned away from a hut, but I also was going through the whites somewhat later in the season than the bubble. And I was traveling with a very small group, and even for some of the whites by myself. So I was surprised how many stealth camping spots there were.
Yeah.
As well.
Because Chance told us that there were none.
Right. Chance told us there were none, and there were plenty, but they were all very small. So so you're not going to be able to stay with your group.
Yeah.
And camp in the whites. You know, there was barely enough space for my what do I have, the Big Agnes UL 110, the Fly Creek, and that would barely fit in these spots. Yeah. So you'll have to be prepared to split up in the whites, perhaps, if you're with a group. Yeah.
Which is about up to you're good. You're tough. Okay, let's see. Listen to Nakano. Dixie's face is forged. She's just out. Is the mic still? I don't know. Okay, so somebody said, yeah, very good info on the whites. Okay, so somebody heard us, so that's good. Okay.
Right. Shots, you have to repeat that to everybody else now.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'll stay near the mic. All right. Do y'all have any booger? I'm just kidding. Okay, so somebody asked for how did Perk get his name?
Oh, well. You want to field this one?
Okay, so
you'll probably tell the story better than I do.
I don't know. So Perk got his name because, well, from what I know, he carried a percolator. So, and it's so funny because people are always like, "What's your name?" Like, what do they try to call you? Like,
well, I'll say my name's Perk, and they'll say Herc or Burke or Birch. And these are all fine names, but I kept having to. Eventually, I had to say I'm Perk for percolator.
Yes.
At which point, I got responses like, "Oh, do you have a really ripping bong?" And I'm like, "No, but you just told me a lot about yourself." So no, it was for a cowboy coffee maker.
He does.
That was my name.
Yeah, and every morning, like you'd wake up, and if Perk stayed around or at the shelter or whatever, it was like, "You want some coffee?" And it was like, "Do I want some coffee?" Is that a question?
Does a bear poo in the woods?
Yes, he does. We can answer that now.
That's true.
But yeah, so Percolator got his name because of Perk got his name because of the percolator.
Right.
Yeah, and I was talking about the other day, like sometimes hiking with Perk, it sounded like a bear bell or something. It's like ting 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 ting, like because he was hanging on the back of his pack, so you knew where Perk was. But okay, let's see. how came the Tramily together, and what was it that glued all of you together? Well, it just happened, right? Like we just, Hot Springs. Hot Springs was the glue. I don't know.
Rigga's mom's
Yes,
cabin that
Rigga's
she
mom.
rented. Yeah.
Okay, so there is a place in Hot Springs, this house that we stayed at, and Rigga's mom like rented it for us, and so Rigga was like, "Come on, stay here." So it was Rigga's fault, really. But we all, like, there were 10 of us that stayed at that house together, and well, were there even more than that?
I think we were up to 11 or 12.
Yeah, I think so.
Turtle rolled in.
Yep, Turtle. Yep. And so yeah, we had honorary family members, but so anyhow, yeah, all of us just stayed there, and like we were there for what, 2 nights together, and then after that we were just all like best friends. Like yeah. I mean, and so I don't know. We hiked together till Damascus from there, so that was what, at least a couple hundred miles, which is really impressive, honestly, for 10 people to stay together. And it wasn't like, I mean, anyone could have hiked on at any point, but we just had these like almost family meetings, and we'd be like, well, I'm kind of thinking about going here, and then somebody'd be like, well, I don't want to go that far today, and then we'd be like, okay, well, we'll go here instead. Like so that's kind of how that happened. Was the percolator heavy?
No, it was my luxury item. I don't regret carrying it.
Yeah.
So although I later discovered, much later, that I could just put the grounds in my mug, pour hot water and stir it up, and let the ground sink, and so I didn't need the percolator anymore after that.
Oh.
And it was painful to let go. I had a fantasy of taking it all the way to Katahdin and getting like a picture at the top with my percolator, because it was one my friend lent me to do a trail.
That's pretty nice.
But it got as far as New York, actually. Yeah, I left it home in New York. So.
Are you gonna carry it on the? Probably not.
The thought crossed my mind.
Yeah.
But probably not, realistically.
Hi from Michigan. Are you and Perk doing
a Fund Me page? Does Perk have a YouTube page? Perk, maybe you should.
Maybe I should. Get a little exposure here.
Yeah, well,
I don't. To answer your question directly, no. I don't have a GoFundMe. I don't have a YouTube channel. So I live vicariously through Dixie and her success.
Perks people up with caffeine. Yes, he. I killed it. Where'd it go? Okay, there we go. All right. So there's somebody on here, the section hiker, that's asked a couple of times how like safe places to park your car. So for you section hikers, the best thing that I can recommend, well, and the thru-hikers, AWOL's guide. I think it's theatguide.com. He has all of the intersections, the trail with the road. And it'll have like parking area, and I don't, I can't swear your car will be absolutely safe, but I just, around the trail, I just don't really feel like people have a lot of issues with that. I know that sounds like naive and trusting, but I don't know, it's a different world. But at least it'll have, you'll know the parking areas anyway. So I recommend that guide for section hikers or thru-hikers. Okay, let's see. Cascade Mountain goats are aggressive. Be cautious.
Good to know.
Okay. All right. I'm glad we know that now. All right, let's see. How do you navigate the trails? Do you carry trail maps or just wing it by the blazes? Oh, well, there you go. The AT guide. You had the other one, right? The
AT companion. Yeah.
I had both, like right at the beginning, and I like the guide better. It's more user friendly, like in my opinion. But but either one is fine.
They both had advantages and disadvantages, like everything.
Yeah.
And I wish I could remember what I liked about each one specifically.
Yeah.
In the end, I ended up basically abandoning them both.
Yeah.
I mean, I hardly reference them anymore, except for in the Whites to see where the huts were and what they're, because I was in the Whites at a time when the huts were closing for the season. So, and some of them close at different times.
Yeah.
Some of them close like mid-October, some close at the end of October. So, yeah. But other than that, yeah, it's such a well-marked, and the Gut-Hooks app, I did not have it, but that looks pretty awesome because you could get real-time water updates. If somebody was ahead of you, they could post, oh, this spring is dry, or this stream is dry, or this one's got good water, so you could plan. obviously a paper book can't, update itself, right? So yeah, maybe if it were a Harry Potter book, I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Imagine that. Yeah.
Yeah, invisibility cloak. Okay. I've heard estimates between 5,000 and 8,000 needed to pay for motels, hotels, restaurants, food, and gear. What is your take on the amount you may need? So on trail costs, I guess, is what you're talking about. And
well,
what would you recommend?
I should have an answer to this question. I actually wrote down, like, to the penny, everything I spent, including like a postage stamp.
Oh wow.
But I never added it up because I didn't want to know.
So I did. And I have that's also in my ebook.
But I can.
Yeah.
I can add it up, and I can. It might be a few weeks before you get the answer, but I can tell you how much I spent.
So what the ATC recommends or says is average is 1,000 miles or $1,000 per month. So if you're out there for 6 months, then $6,000. It really depends on you. It depends on, are you splitting hotel rooms with other people? Are you staying at hostels? Are you getting a hotel room for yourself? Are you wanting to stay in town every single stop you make or not? Are you gonna buy backpacker meals? Or are you gonna buy ramen noodles? Are you gonna eat in town every time? And when you do, are you eating at Burger King or are you eating a steak dinner? Do you drink all the beer in town or do you drink water and rehydrate? It really comes down to the person.
It can definitely be done for cheaper.
Yes.
But it takes willpower.
Yes.
You're going to meet awesome people, and somebody in the group wants to go to town, and you're like, well, I don't have to resupply. I've got plenty of food, but I don't want to miss this opportunity for this great companionship. So you go to town, and you spend the money, but it's worth it. But yes, it can be done for much cheaper if you are willing to take a 0 day in the woods instead of in town.
Yes.
Or
and we did do that.
We did do that outside of Irwin. Although, to be fair, we ran back to town many times to get supplies. So. And are you willing to eat your trail food in town?
Yes, that's so hard.
It's so hard to do when the burgers and the salads and the beers are right there.
Yes.
But it can be done. I didn't do it, but it can be done.
Yes, it can be done. Okay, is a bounce box
the way to go? Yeah, like we said before, no, you don't want to. I wouldn't plan anything. Well, a bounce box. So, I mean, if you have stuff you need to bounce ahead, but I never really.
You can't open it. That's the trick.
Yeah. The bounce boxes you can't open once you bounce it, or you have to pay for it. So, if you have something that you think you might want, but you're not sure when you'll need it, and you don't have anybody that can send stuff ahead to you, then yes. So, like, say your cold weather sleeping bag, like it warms up and you're sleeping with a fleece blanket instead, or a fleece liner, then you can put it in a box and the cold one, bounce it ahead and just keep telling the post offices, like in the flat rate box, like, I just want to keep bouncing it from post office to post office to post office, and eventually when you want it, you can open it, and then you'll only pay for the shipping of the one time. But if you open it, then
so if you don't have somebody at home who can send you that thing when you need it, you can do a bounce box. But you'll be bound to going to each post office in each town that you send it to, only to send it on ahead. And again, as we mentioned earlier, that can be kind of a burden to have to get to the post office within hours. So.
Okay, let's see. Are the mice really bad? You just learn to deal with them. Like, I
don't think they're bad by nature. Yeah.
No, I mean, they're fine. They get a little aggressive in Maine. I think they get pretty desperate up there. But
it gets cold.
You have to, it's like, don't feed the wild animals, but sometimes you gotta send them an offering so they'll leave you alone while you're cooking your meal. So it is what it is.
Like I never had a mouse chew. I had mice walk over me in the shelters.
Yes,
and, while I slept, that's fine. I did not have one destroy any gear. I never had a mouse chew through my tent, chew through a food bag.
Don't put your food bag in your tent if you don't want mice chewing through it, or potentially bears. But I know people that did get their tent chewed through.
No, it does happen. Yeah.
So it does happen.
But
I had a mouse chew my like a sock. I guess because of the snow or something.
Yeah, I heard they.
But I remember
Dr. Seuss had a pocket chewed through because he had some kind of food in a pocket.
One of my wool shirts got chewed up, actually, now that I mention it. So I did have something get somewhat destroyed by mice. I mean, I still wore it, of course.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? But
and if you have darn tough socks, they'll actually
true.
replace
That's
it.
right. You might even want to leave. No, I won't. Leave one out for the mouse. I'm like, oh, it's got a hole. Time to replace it. Don't do that. That's not ethical.
Okay. Southbound or northbound on the AT, preferences, advantages, disadvantages. Always a no-go. Always no.
But I like to go northbound. I can't say what southbound would be like. I can say that supposedly, well, there are less people that go southbound, so you would see less people. Sometimes when you first see southbounders, I feel like they have that look in their eye, that castaway look. So would you agree? Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, it's all about you and what you want for your journey and when you can start. But I will say that the 100-mile wilderness and the whites are a hell of a way to start a thru hike.
Yeah.
So if you make it through that, you ought to be good.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Let's see.
But I mean, Novo, like, I don't want to say the trail is designed for northbound, but the timing of trail days and and the captain's party and everything after that is kind of, it falls in line with a Novo hike. You know, so if you don't want to miss out on that, go Novo. But if you're, I don't know how to call it, introverted, no, that's
no, I think there are flip flops, so really you could get the best of the weather in every area with the flip flop. But on the AT, did you ever get bored hiking every day?
No.
You didn't?
No.
I did.
I guess this is where we're different.
Yeah. So, well, it's not so much. I don't think it's bored. It's just like sometimes I had to remind myself to like look up, like, because I would like stare at my feet and I'd get in a trance, and then I'd start seeing, look at this stuff.
Isn't it neat? Wouldn't you think my collection's complete? Wouldn't you think I'm the girl who has everything?
Yeah, we sing that like all the time.
For example.
Yeah. Or Christmas songs. Yeah. So I don't know that it's like you get bored as much as, I mean, it's still like a bad day on the trail is still better than like a good day in a cubicle. You know what I mean? So like, yeah. So I don't know if it's bored, but it does get like repetitive because it is, you know.
Yeah, you start to like not go to each side trail to some view or peak.
Yes.
It's like 0.2 miles. I've seen a lot of peaks. I can skip it.
Yes.
But so I guess that in a sense it gets boring in that sense that you're less motivated to. It's less novel, you know. Each peak you come to.
Yeah, it is.
But I wouldn't say I was like going stir crazy while walking.
No,
never.
No. Okay, let's see. Hammock versus sleeping bag tent. Well, hammock versus tent. Oh Lord. Well, we both can kind of. I only used a crappy hammock setup for like a week, and then I went to my tent and I was like, praise Jesus. So Perk had a tent and a hammock.
I did.
So also
I even carried both like a dummy for a while because I love 2 extra pounds. Why not?
But I mean, that's the thing, you get like experimental and do things on the trail. But so what's your? Because he actually had a good hammock, right?
Well, so I was disappointed with it.
Oh, were you? He's a hammock basher. Another hammock basher like me. No,
I saw many people have great success with hammocks.
Yeah.
Right. So it can be done.
True. And a lot of people
I don't know.
back
Can
surgery.
we like mention brands? I don't know. I don't want to
bash
one brand and praise another. But
this is our opinion.
Okay.
This is our opinion.
So I had the Hennessy Hyperlight asymmetrical hammock, and unless you lay in it exactly and set it up, unless you lay in it exactly and there's like no wind, you're gonna get wet. Like it was, I would say, even dangerous to use as far as protecting yourself from the elements. So I was disappointed with it for that reason. But other people, for a slightly heavier hammock, the Eno and the War Bonnet, I think it was War Bonnet. Is that the?
Yes.
Were both great hammocks. They were very popular. The family.
Yes.
The family with the capital F.
Family, the ones that
the Oars.
live in Texas, the Oars. Yeah. With the 10-year-old and then the. 22-year-old and all everything in between. Yeah.
They used their hammocks the whole time and loved them.
Yeah.
Never complained. So my particular hammock wasn't that great, but again, it's preference. I like the security of a tent. I think it warms up in your enclosed space.
Yes.
It's like a little igloo, if you will.
Yes.
So there's that. And in the whites, there really isn't a place to hammock. Chance was right about that. There's not a place to hammock in the whites.
Somebody just asked, I'll be hammocking on the trail. Are there any spots on the trail where I can't hang? So the whites.
I'd say the whites, you're gonna have a hard time finding, even below tree line. They're all dwarf twisted pines. There's nothing substantial. So.
But if you have to cowboy camp on the ground a little bit, you'll figure it out. And then also you'll have the huts.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Did you see any tarp users? Yes, I saw a few people that just had the tarps set up and slept under them, but not a whole lot. Most people use tents, and then next I would say hammocks. Tent should be preferably 2 pounds or less. Yes.
Yes.
Well, mine was like 2 pounds, 5 ounces for a 2-person tent. Yours was 2 pounds, 1 ounce, right?
1 or 3.
I think,
there was maybe a 2 to 3 ounce difference between the 1 and 2 person Big Agnes Fly Creek, but that is a case where I was jealous of people who had the 2-person. I was jealous of them.
Oh, you were jealous of me?
I wanted that extra square footage for myself.
Yeah.
That's a case where I would think it's absolutely worth it for the extra 2 ounces and this small difference in price to get the 2-person Fly Creek. You can fit your pack so much better.
Yeah. Okay. Also, I just want to say here, like, I love that, like, all of these questions, and I actually see some of y'all like answering each other's questions, which is really cool. So on Facebook, there is a group that I created called Homemade Wanderlust Backpacking Forum, so that everyone can like post in there and answer each other's questions and all of that stuff. And I'm on there too or whatever. So y'all like can go there and request to join and the group, and I'll approve all of you. And then we can continue talking about this stuff in there too. So if you have questions, like other people who hiked the trail with me, and Perk is in there, I added you to it. I don't know if you saw that you're in the group, but so like, you can get folks' opinions, they'll weigh in and whatever. So y'all make sure to do that. Facebook, Homemade Wanderlust Backpacking Forum. So, okay. Matt B, my tent is 5 pounds. Yeah, that's really, that's really heavy. Oh, I see some people are asking to join the group. Yay! See, there you go. Okay. Like Lisa said, by yourself is heavy. So I mean, if you were backpacking with a lady friend, say, and she could carry like some of the food, or and y'all could equal out the weight, then maybe not so bad. But I will warn you against sharing gear, because I saw people get mad at each other, and so be wary, be particular about who you share gear with. Right. So is that beard real?
Yes. There we go.
Yes, it's real. Epic beard.
Oh, thank you.
You get a lot of compliments on your beard. Yeah,
we were like, from dudes, but that's all right.
Yeah, that's it, because they're like, like, man, respect. It commands respect. So
there was a question about earlier. How did you train? I did not.
I did not train either.
I went on 0 overnight backpacking trips in my life.
I've been on 0.
Yes.
For the newbies, see, and 2 people never been on overnight backpacking.
And I'll either make it or I won't.
And
so, whatever.
Have you been on an overnight backpacking trip since the 18th? Nope, me neither. So our first 3 backpacking trips are going to be the Triple Crown. That's right. Okay, so let's see. How many days of food did you typically carry?
Too many. I did.
Yeah.
I can't speak for you.
I usually got it about right. Like when I got into town, I was finishing my snacks. So I carried, like, say if it was we were planning a 5-day stretch to the next town, I would carry 6 days of food. So I always did however many days plus 1. So that was kind of my thing. But Isn't saying your hammock made you wet the same thing as saying your sleeping bag made you wet? The tarp is what keeps the rain off. Yeah. I mean, I just wasn't seasoned at it. I don't know, and I don't want to try to be anymore. I like cooking like under my vestibule, and I like but again, some like I was joking. We're not really hammock bashers. We just don't love them.
Yeah, I didn't have success with mine.
Yeah,
like
but other people might have wonderful success. So let's see. All right. I live in Hiawassee, Georgia. Did you pass through it on your thru-hike? Yep.
Yes.
Yep. I even shopped there at the oh darn, what's that store called?
Was it the pharmacy maybe?
Oh, there was a grocery store there.
No, I didn't go to the grocery store.
Ingles. How did you feel after 1 gallon of ice cream?
like I could eat another?
Yeah, Perk was like good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was done. It tasted like wax to me. And Perk sat there and ate cake after, didn't you? Or was that before?
I don't know if it was before or after, but yeah, there was cake involved.
But I think Perk got the fastest time on the ice cream shop. I'm pretty sure he killed it. He just was like done. Okay, let's see. Is the PCT fun like the AT? I don't know.
Yet. I hope so.
We'll get back to you on that. Did you use any Gatorade powder or similar for salts? I did. Gatorade powder or any of the squeeze drink stuff like
I did not.
a lot of people like Bison and Bookworm were like crazy about, they're like, give me some of that Mio. Like they had like different flavored Mios, and like people would swap Mios and whatever. Aren't you from Pennsylvania? No, he's from New York. He's from New York. Okay.
Power east of PA.
Yeah. Differences between your AT gear and your upcoming PCT gear. Oh.
I'm still working that out.
Yeah. Again, we'll get back to you on that. I'm trying to make it as lightweight as I can because I want to offset the water weight apparently that I'm gonna have to carry.
Excuse me, we will need extra water. That's true.
What would be the ideal weight of a pack? 0 pounds. Just I mean, as light as you can get it is better for your body. But you know, like for example, Rebel Yell had 100-liter pack from like Bass Pro, I think, or from Cabela's. And then he had like a Walmart tent that was like 3 or 4 pounds and $50. And I mean, he made the whole trail. So it's, you know, it's more what you got in here than what you got in your pack. But okay. Does having long beard and hair trap bugs? Is it better to be shaved?
That's a good question. I didn't notice any bugs in my beard. So
I didn't notice any bugs in my beard either. So cough it out. Okay, let's see. Kelly says no questions, but hey y'all, have a good weekend. Have a good weekend to you too. How do you feel about personal beacon locators? Would you carry one?
No.
I mean, if my family was, well, my family was worried about me, and they were like, why don't you carry one of those spot things? And I was like, maybe. And I got on there and I looked at how much they are, and it's like $100 for one, and then like pay for the service too. And I was just like, they're really expensive. And my mom was like, well, how much? And so then I told her, and she was like, okay, well, just text us when you get to areas that you have service and let us know you're alive. And I'm like, okay. So, yeah, I mean, for people who want to feel safe, or for people whose families are freaking out, you know, it's a good thing. And you can ping people and let them know you're okay. And they have ones that, like, if you get in trouble, you know, I think they have ones, don't they? If it's like submerged in water, it'll notify, you know, so it's not a bad idea. It's just a personal preference. So let's see. All right, we've got about 4 minutes left. So let's see. Are you going to do Half Dome while you're in the area? I don't even.
Is that a landmark on the PCT? I don't know.
So I'm gonna try to do as much sightseeing while on the PCT, but oh, the JMT is right there, Half Dome. Okay, I guess yes, maybe. I don't know. People are really excited about it. Would you ever hike the Continental Divide? Yes, that's hopefully after the PCT. If we don't get eaten by a grizzly, which Perk says he's fine with. He says, I've had a good run.
Yeah, it's true.
So
I've had wonderful experiences.
yeah. With no significant other on the trail, what is the sex culture like? You get out there and find out. Okay, a $35 ham radio is a great resource and light too. I don't know. I mean, I've messed around with ham radios a little bit, but I didn't really see anybody with one out there. So, did you see anyone having trouble with Z-Pac's gear on the trail? I'm interested in it, but it seems almost too lightweight to be true.
Funny you should say that. I was just asking Dixie. I showed up last night and said, I'm thinking about a Z-Packs, but it seems like most of the big names like Gossamer Gear and Enlightened Equipment, well, they don't do packs, but Six Moon Designs and what's Hyperlight Mountain Gear, all of their lightest packs hover around 30 ounces complete, and then the Z-Pack says like 23 or even 21 for the lightest. And I said, I don't know, are they being accurate in their? I'm gonna buy one, and I will tell you. Yeah. Because that's I'm curious. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I have the Hyperlight, one of the Hyperlight packs. So and the thing is, like, we were talking about this yesterday too. Like, I would never want to work for a gear company because then y'all wouldn't believe me anymore, or like Perk. So neither one of us work for any company or have any gear that's like, gear brand that's like, oh, you should push this gear brand, because like, I don't know, I want to try the stuff that I want to try and be honest. So anyway, so we'll let you know how our gear works, and I'll go over my gear that I'm choosing before I leave, and then I'm sure you'll see Perk out there. So
that's where the trail works.
Yep. So let's see. We got about a minute left, so let's see. Round. Yeah. I have a North Face Terra 65 pack. Is that too heavy? I don't know how much it weighs. 65 liter is going to be plenty of space. Yeah. And it should be. Otherwise, you're toting too much, probably.
Like a hammock at the same time.
Yeah, like
it might not be enough then.
My Cuban fiber pack Art Blast didn't fare well here in the Midwest. Might be fine on established trails. So see, this is what I'm talking about. Y'all get in that Facebook forum group so that we can continue, like, some of these packs, if people have experience with some of them, we can keep talking about them. So okay, 4-pound pack. Yeah, that's pretty. I mean, mine was like 3, honestly, my Osprey, but okay, how does hiking affect your lives post-hike? Maybe that's a good one to end on.
Well,
I mean, it could go long, but
it could go long way, but I was definitely.
All right, so this is the last question. Yeah.
And I could smell things. My sense of smell was greatly enhanced.
Yes.
And it was wonderful, and it still is. So,
yes. And then also, I think, like, my perspective changed on a lot of things. I think I'm more patient, but also less tolerant of things. So, like, I don't know, I started culling a lot of things from my life, like stuff. Like, when I got home, I wanted to throw a bunch of things away. And then also, like, can you get an amen?
Get rid of that stuff.
Yeah, I just started throwing away all of my stuff, and I feel like a lot of people do that. Yeah. When they get home, you see how little that you need to live, and then you're just like, I don't need any of this crap, and it's just like extra stuff that I have to like worry about. But then also, like, maybe like relationships in your life, and I don't just mean like love, but like friendships and things, or whatever that maybe you have, that you're just like, what is, like, I don't know, like, there's no need for this in my life anymore. And a lot of times you just cull that too. So you just start kind of cleaning your life up. I don't know, I guess.
And not only getting rid of stuff, but I also don't buy stuff anymore either. Things that I see in the store, I'm like, I would have wanted that before a trail, and I'm like, I just don't need it. So my wallet is happier. I buy fewer things. Yeah. And got rid of some things that I thought I could never get rid of.
Yeah. It's just not.
You just feel lighter inside.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, I hope that y'all enjoyed this. And again, if you have any questions.
Oh, blueberry crumble.
Oh, he knows about the blueberry pie crust crumble. Yeah, you find all kinds of Oh yeah, that was directly for you.
Yeah.
Did you plan for the
Did I
special?
plan special food moments? No, they just I took them as they came.
Yeah.
Wherever I found chicken of the woods, that
Yes.
became.
Yeah, Perk is the one that got me to try chicken of the woods. He was like definitely the wild forager.
You need a mushroom tester?
Person.
I'll be that guy.
Yeah. So I would be like, Perk, is that one poisonous? Well, I'll find out.
Yeah, I'll take a nibble.
But anyway, so yeah, y'all join that group, and we can continue to talk about some of this stuff over time and see other people's opinions and whatnot. But I'm gonna probably do another one of these soon, maybe next Saturday. I'm not sure yet, but I'll post it on here and then also on that Facebook forum and all that. And because I'm just, especially the people who are about to set out this season, I want to kind of get some of those last minute questions in. So, but all right, well, thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you later.
Yeah.
All right. And yeah, thank you, Perk.
You're very welcome.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. All right. All right. Bye. Bye, guys.